I think that the risk we have and we have outlined are real. It's seasonal, however. Even let's look at the risk of flooding and fire, which I think is two of the major issues we have. While there are other issues of risk, it is not so rampant as the fire and the flooding. Like I said, however, it's seasonal, and for it to be sustained, we have to have I would say, regular dialogue amongst the agency and be prepared. Funding is another important aspect of being able to be sustainable and to be effective, because we can have all the plans. If we don't have funds to execute the plan, it's just like we don't have a plan. So for me, funding is of utmost importance for us to react to the reality of these disasters.
I'm so happy to be part of this whole proceeding this morning, in that we were looking at the plan for the disaster that would occur within this region, because it is very important to have this plan in stream, and the project that piloted this plan into where it is now was very essential, because every year we're experiencing the extremes of weather. It is flood or the dried out wells and fire. So it is really needed, and we're happy about it, in that the funders have allowed us to have that funding to have our plan on stream. And we are thankful for our neighbors too, our Caribbean counterparts, in assisting us to have this plan developed also with the Civil Defense Commission and the stakeholders within this region. What has been planned is that we have 3 radio stations in this region, community radio, and that is one way of having and disseminating the messages of the plan to the populace out there. We have asked for a budgetary allocation in our last budget, but I haven't seen the final budgetary allocations yet. So we were asked to put something on the disaster, because every year it costs us a couple $1 million well to address issues within. And the other aspect is that we are targeting the school children, disseminating this information about the plan, so they will share with each other as well as their parents when they get home. Now, with the other aspect we look at, with the other organization we coming together with, is the municipality. We're planning to have those people removed from where they are, because every year they're under flood, and we have asked the minister to address it. She did start it. She reallocated them with other plots of land, and that is one way we are addressing the issue of those people who are prone to flooding in the low-lying areas. And of course, we are asking other ministries to assist us to have this plan that we have put forward to be implemented and be sustained in a way that everyone benefits within the Letton Township as well as the entire region.
From year to year, region number 9 has been faced with some amount of flooding or long spell dry season. This is due to the two seasons that we have here in the region. We have a long dry spell and flooding in the region. What happens in Latam during the rainy season? We have about 80% of the farm being covered with water, and as such, we have an increase of disease in livestock with a high mortality rate with the livestock. As it pertains to the dry long period, we would have diseases also associated with the dry season, and we would have the reduction of the amount of production of cassava in the savanna, and we would have shortage of cassava stick, in which we would have to import from Brazil from time to time. Well, the plan is very important as it relates to help us to in our budgetary allocation yearly, also for the plan of action for the region development, and it also helps us in training our farmers in planting on a timely manner, reaping in a timely manner, so that they could maximize their production. Also, it gives us time to prepare person who move from the low-lying areas to the high-lying areas, especially person with animals, etc. But the plan, the plan is very sustainable. It would help us, planning our yearly budget, in which we were able to plan for these flood or prolonged dry season, in able to give the farmer some amount of compensation, especially whereby those farms may be covered with water. They would have high mortality rate in animals. So in budgeting, we were able to budget, and we were able to fund some of the money to give back the farmers' animals, or in the case of the crops farmer, we could able to buy them seeds, etc., planting material, etc.
So one of the disasters that regularly hits Latham and its environs is the flooding, which affects residents of Tabachinga and somewhat of the Culvert City schemes. And residents living in the flood zone and the depressed areas are mostly affected. And we have been actively involved in coming up with solutions to assist these persons. And it's a huge problem. It affects us, if not every year, every other year. So it is a problem that needs to be addressed immediately. Although we have been able to put in measures to assist in resolving these matters, a lot needs to be done still. So with the plan in place and us reviewing that plan, I believe it's going to be effective. I believe that it will assist. And as everybody has been talking on teamwork and team effort, I believe that if everybody really put their heads together, that it's going to be, the plan will be realized, and it will greatly affect everyone in a positive way, of course. And so I'm really looking forward for that working out. I believe that because it has been a cry from us to the relevant persons, that this plan will now play a very important role in assisting persons who are affected by not just flooding, but every other disaster that may hit Latam or the Rupununi as a whole.
plan is absolutely beneficial, I would say, to any department, more so to the planning unit. The planning unit has finished its second phase of our 10-year strategic plan, and we do have a section of the plan that deals with disaster preparedness. So I see this document as a supplement to that, to our regional strategic plan actually. We would be making reference going forward to the regional disaster preparedness plan in the strategic document for the region. And one of the primary areas is that this document will be able to help justify for possible budgetary allocation for any type of disaster preparedness in the region. And I must also add that disaster preparedness, it's not just that we see it as a means of planning, but it is important that we share these plans with our communities, and so that the communities will be even more prepared on the ground for whatever type of disaster comes their way. So the document is more of a guide to infiltrating smaller plans within the region.